Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Sania Gilani, your instructor of the course of Introduction to Literary Studies, and this is our last lecture of this entire course. Um, I hope you learned a lot throughout this course. In this brief semester, we discussed different aspects of literature, particularly describing what is literature and also looking at the different movements and periods that make up the entire English literature as a um, medium. For this lecture, we are going to primarily focus on literary criticism and the study and the evaluation of literature. The critic that we are going to primarily rely on to discuss is W.H. Hudson. And how does he define literature? We will be focusing on that. For reference, whenever you read a poem, a novel, or a play, we instinctively begin to judge it. We ask whether it is good or bad, meaningful or shallow, effective or disappointing. This natural act of judgment lies at the heart of criticism. Literary criticism is not merely fault finding, it is a disciplined way of understanding, interpreting, and evaluating literature. One of the clearest and most student friendly definitions of literary criticism is given by W.H. Hudson, whose formulation remains foundational for undergraduate study even today. So, how does he define literary criticism? According to W.H. Hudson, literary criticism is the study of literature and the evaluation of literary works itself. This definition may appear simple, but it is remarkably comprehensive. According to him, criticism has two central functions. First, it involves the study of literature. This includes understanding a text's meaning, structure, language, themes, and context. Second, it involves the evaluation of literature, judging its quality, significance, and lasting value. His definition emphasizes that criticism is both analytical and evolution. The critic does not merely explain what a text says, the critic also assesses how well it says it and why it matters. This balanced approach makes his definition especially important. Now, let's begin with the formal study of literary criticism to conclude our course of literary studies. As this is our final lecture in this series, it is important to briefly reflect on the broader journey we have taken through this entire course. We began with an understanding of literature as an imaginative expression shaped by genres like poetry, drama, and prose, and then traced how literature evolved in response to historical, social, and intellectual changes. We also looked at the different genres and a little bit about them. From classical to romantic ideals to war and realism, disillusionment, postmodern experimentation, we observed how each movement redefined the purpose, form, and function of literature. Throughout this course, one central idea has remained constant. Literature does not exist in isolation. It reflects human experience, questions dominant values, and continually reshapes itself through new styles and perspectives. Literary criticism serves as a unifying framework that allows us to study these changes systematically and to evaluate their artistic and cultural significance. This brings literature, therefore, the course in full circle by focusing on criticism itself, a tool that enables us to understand, connect, and assess all literary forms that we have discussed and also how literature expands over the years. It is important to remember why do we study literature and why criticism is a proper field of study. Literature, at its core, is a universal language that is shared by multiple people. It reflects emotions and feelings and often uh, struggles that people are going through fictional settings and also told through different writers and their own way of telling a narrative. This allows us to focus on the beauty of life through other stories without leaving our home all the time. Criticism enables us with the tools to understand, connect, and assess all literature. It does not have to be just English literature. Any form of literature has criticism. Now, it is important to remember that literature itself is an imaginative and artistic expression of human experiences. Literature moves from simple appreciation, liking or disliking a text, to reasoned judgments supported by analysis when it comes to criticism. The scope of literary criticism makes it clear that criticism is not limited to pointing out flaws or praising beauty. Its scope is wide and systematic. The first aspect is interpretation. A critic must attempt to understand what the writer is trying to convey. This includes examining the plot, characters, imagery, symbolism, tone, and style. The second aspect is analysis. Here, the critic breaks the text into its components to see how it works as a piece of art. This involves close reading and attention to language, form, and technique. The third and most distinctive aspect of criticism is evaluation or judgment. Hudson argues that criticism must ultimately decide the value of a literary work. Is it artistically successful? Does it express universal human experiences? Does it possess originality, emotional depth, or moral insight? Without valuation, criticism remains incomplete. What is the function of valuation in literary criticism? Valuation is central to understanding criticism. To evaluate a literary work means to assess its literary merit. It does not imply personal taste alone. It requires informed judgment based on certain standards. Critics consider elements such as truth to life, imaginative power, emotional impact, artistic unity, and sincerity of expression. A great work of literature is one that continues to speak to readers across time because it captures fundamental aspects of human experience. Hudson also stresses that evaluation helps in forming a literary canon, the body of works considered worthy of study and preservation. Without criticism, literature would be reduced to subjective opinions with no basis for distinction, enduring works from temporary popularity. What is the role of a critic? A critic is a mediator between the text and the reader. A critic helps readers understand difficult works, appreciate artistic techniques, and refine their literary taste. A good critic, according to the writer Hudson, must possess wide reading, sensitivity to language, historical awareness, and intellectual honesty. Most importantly, he should be against extreme subjectivity. While personal response matters, criticism should aim for balance and fairness. The critic must justify judgment with evidence from the text rather than personal prejudice. Why is this definition so important? The definition of criticism as a work that as the entire body of work that includes the literature and the interpretation of literature is important because it provides clarity and deeper appreciation of literature, especially for students, undergraduate students of any literature. It prevents criticism from either becoming dry technical analysis or mere opinion. By combining study of literature with evaluation of literature, students can not only learn how to read literature closely but also argue for its significance in a structured and academic manner. Criticism also prepares students for critical theories where interpretation and evaluation take more complex forms. To conclude, Hudson's definition of literary criticism as the evaluation of literature and the role of writer is extremely important in understanding and appreciating literature itself. So, this was all that we have covered so far. In this lecture, we talked about criticizing literature and what it means to say that a person is a literary critic of a particular work of fiction. In future courses, you are going to go in depth into the entire concept of criticism and also studying the significance and historical implications of different works of literature, particularly different famous writers. But you have to keep in mind all the writers that you will be studying throughout this entire degree and this entire program have can be attributed to critics and criticism. Without them, you would not have literary canons. You would not have works that have lasted and stood the test of time. Writers like Shakespeare, Thomas Hardy, Charles Dickens, Jane Austen are famous because critics brought awareness of their literary merits and they raised their, you can say, their significance in contrast to temporary works of pulp fiction. So, when it comes to historical awareness and literary consequences, all of these things are important. But it's also important to look at the text itself and what is the text contributing in the overall landscape of literature. That is all for our entire program, and I hope you had a wonderful time, and I really hope you learned a thing or two. Hopefully, we will meet again. Till then, Allah Hafiz. See you guys very soon.